This episode is brought to you by MAKFam. 3 years after Christopher Nolan delivered his massive hit, Oppenheimer, he's back with an audacious adaptation of The Odyssey. It's one of the most anticipated films of the year and a true big screen event. So get your tickets now to see it on 35mm, only at the C Film Center, Denver's only nonprofit independent art house theater. This is the kind of epic, larger-than-life cinematic experience that deserves to be seen with an audience. Whether you're a longtime Nolan fan or simply love movies, this is a rare opportunity to experience a modern master's latest work in a truly special format. Tickets are on sale now at the box office at the C Film Center or visit denverfilm.org. Welcome to CityCast Denver. I'm Bree Davies, and here's what Denver's talking about. So today we're diving into the best burgers in Denver and the most anticipated restaurant openings around town. Our guide to both of these topics is Westward Food and Drink editor Anthony Bruno. Welcome back, Anthony.
Thanks for having me again.
So, okay, let's get started. You did this great list of the best burgers, and I have to say, that's a daunting task. There are a lot of burgers in this town.
There are a lot, yes.
So if you had to narrow it down, like what are the top 3 things you look for in a good burger?
That's a great question. Well, let's see. Yeah, I mean, I tried to narrow it down to places that primarily focused on burgers. Like you can get a burger at almost any place. It's almost like a requirement to now offer, at any restaurant. So I was trying to focus on places that really led with the burger as their reason for being first, right? And what I look for basically is first being able to taste an actual burger, like being able to taste meat, cheese, bun. Like that's what constitutes a burger. So it needed to have that foundation first, right? And then all the bells and whistles that people like to add to it are very nice, but they have to be done as a sort of complementary nature, not hiding the lack of being able to do the basics well. So that was kind of, main thrust of what I was looking for in all of these. I mean, I must have eaten over 50 burgers in like 2 months period, without exaggeration. And so I couldn't eat the entire burger. So I would take 2 bites. And if I really wanted to continue eating it, it would make the list. If I was fine putting it down, it didn't. And that really made the whole list actually flow a lot easier than one might think.
So you're telling me if the burger was good, you considered it.
Yeah. If I was like, wow, I really want to keep eating this, but I can't because if I do, I will die. And so, but I had to force myself to put it down. That made it really easy to be like, yeah, this is a serious contender for the list. But I was like, that's okay. It's not bad, but I could put it down without really, applying a lot of discipline. Then it obviously shouldn't have made the list.
What do you think is one thing that's so crucial to a good burger but often gets overlooked?
Seasoning. I mean, it sounds so basic and simple, but yeah, like salt and pepper, that helps like a lot, and a lot of times people, don't do that. It's just an under-seasoned burger. That is probably the number one complaint that anyone who eats a lot of food will bring up is that, yeah, it was just under-seasoned. So there's that. And then another thing is just, I like a nice char. I like to get that crunch a little bit when I'm eating a burger, and that kind of gets into what you might be bringing up shortly here is the idea between a smash burger and sort of the traditional patty, and that's a sharp distinction between these two styles of burger. So both have to do something that the other does well for either to be good.
Okay, because I was going to say that is something on your list, right? Is you've got both of those styles, and some folks would argue those are very different types of burgers. So completely. How did you put all this together knowing that there kind of are these 2 paths for the burger?
No, great. It's a great question. It was a difficult one. I just had to kind of just roll into it and be like, okay, sometimes I wouldn't know what kind of burger they were serving until I got there. So it wasn't like I was seeking out one or the other. I was just going to these places. And so like with a smash burger, it's obviously a very crispy meat type of burger, type of patty, right? And people like that crunchy, kind of component to it. But it oftentimes can be very dry. And in fact, going into this list, I actually had a bias against smash burgers. Most of the smash burgers I had just sort of in the wild before I was, doing this for a living, I didn't really like. I thought they were just kind of dry and oversauced and too many things added to it to hide the fact that it was a dry disc, right? But then in doing this, there's some great, burgers. So you want to have that crisp, but you also want to taste the meaty, juicy, component of the burger, and a lot of them still were able to pull that off. And so that's where that was where they made the list basically. On the patty side, similar kind of situation. Yes, it's easy for that, to taste the meat. You've got the sort of the juicy, flavor of the burger, but you still kind of want that nice char on the outside. So, nice hard char on the outside, nice pink juicy interior. That's what they had to do that the smash burgers can easily done. And if it's neither, then it's a little bit less interesting. So yeah, I'm sitting there like picking apart burgers inside these places. I'm pulling out just the meat part of the patty to eat it by itself to see how it was without all the stuff on top of it. I mean, it was a little granular, but that's part of the process.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some specific burgers, because I imagine folks are listening and going, okay, but which ones?
Which ones, right? Always.
So one that I found really interesting here was, okay, so this is Artie's Burger Plus, and this is the burger stand from Little Arthur's Hoagies founder, which folks may know for their hoagies, obviously. But this is one of these smash burgers. Tell me about the burger you had at Artie's Burger Plus.
So I had what's called the American Wid, which was really interesting in that it basically was a burger created as if it was a Philly cheesesteak, right? Like it had all the components of that, but it was still a burger, and it was excellent. I mean, that was one that was difficult to put down, without a doubt.
I'm looking at the picture now. I'm a Philly cheesesteak fan myself, and so that was enticing to me. This makes me think, though, where does cheese play into the equation when you are looking at, or when you're evaluating the taste of the burger?
Yeah, no, it's a big part of it. In fact, I only was trying cheeseburgers. I mean, I know it says best burgers, but it's really best cheeseburgers. To me, it was not to have cheese. I don't know why. Some people, my wife doesn't like cheese, right? And she doesn't. And if she gets a burger, she's not getting cheese on their burger. I don't understand that. I'm not going to criticize it, for marital sake, but. Yeah, no, to me, it needs to be cheese. And the cheese is actually very important. There's a lot of thought and debate around this. I personally think the best cheese for a cheeseburger is just plain old American cheese. It's the most, it melts the best. It has the best texture as a result, and it still has that cheesy sort of flavor. I used to love cheddar, but cheddar actually is a terrible melting cheese, and it gets really gummy and kind of causes some textural problems, even though I like that sharp bite of cheddar in other applications. So that one's maybe not so much. Gruyere, I think, is a great burger cheese when done right. You can go on and on. I think in the Artie's case, they're using Cooper Sharp, which is a Philly cheese used in Philly cheesesteaks. And that's kind of one of the reasons why it delivered that flavor profile.
I'm totally with you. I don't understand a burger without cheese, and I'm also with you. And that American cheese is the perfect cheese for this, because I love cheese. I love all kinds of cheese. I mean, I will do, like, if I want to do like a fancy blue cheese bacon burger, whatever, I'll do blue cheese. But I'm with you. Like cheddar just like gets sweaty and then like falls apart.
You missed your calling, sweaty. It's a perfect way to describe it. That's exactly right. I wouldn't even thought of that, but that's beautiful. That's exactly what it is.
It's just such it's such an interesting, like, my go-to. I think cherry cricket's on your list. I mean,
absolutely.
You gotta, and my go-to there is a little cricket burger, so the quarter pound with American cheese and mushrooms. That's how I do it. Why? Someone might say, you know what? We know cherry cricket. We've been there. Why include them on this list?
They have to be. I mean, it is the OG burger of Denver, in my opinion, and it's also still really good. I mean, I've heard some feedback from some readers that maybe it's not at the same level it was maybe back in the day. I've not experienced that. I think it tastes just as good today, I feel, as it did when I was in my 20s going there. So it's a great burger, and it's like there's no way you can do a best burgers list in Denver and not at least go to the Cherry Cricket to see how it is. And if it meets the bar, then it has to be included, whether it's expected or not. Like, this isn't the list of the most unexpected burgers of Denver. It's a list of the best burgers in Denver, and if it meets that criteria, then it's going to be included.
I feel you. I'm a Cherry Cricket burger person till I die. I just. Yeah. Absolutely.
Although I will say, I wish I had, thought about the junior cricket or the little cricket.
Oh, yeah.
Because
save you some tummy room.
Save me a little bit of meat sweats that night. So.
This episode is brought to you by Denver Health. Summer in Colorado means trails, sunshine, and sometimes the unexpected. John Froelich felt off during a hike west of Denver. He drove straight to Denver Health, where doctors found he was having a serious heart attack. Denver's healthcare team got him the treatment he needed fast. And 6 months later, John crossed the finish line at the Colfax Half Marathon. John's story is a reminder of what can happen when Coloradans go out and live their summer. With locations across Denver, a clinic in Winter Park, and virtual care available 7 days a week, Denver Health is never far from wherever summer takes you. At Denver Health, they're with you for life's journey. Learn more at denverhealth.org/survivorstory. That's denverhealth.org/survivorstory. This episode is brought to you by the Colfax Avenue Business Improvement District. Celebrate Colfax at the 4th Annual Colfax Indie Bash on Wednesday, July 22nd from 6 to 9 p.m. at Pete's Satire Lounge, featuring us. That's right, we'll be doing a live CityCast Denver recording with some great special guests. You don't want to miss it. This free community celebration features local food and drinks, art, music, the characters of Colfax Awards, and more. Plus, there's good reason to arrive early besides, hanging out with me and the rest of the CityCast Denver crew, because the first 50 people in the door will receive a limited edition canvas Colfax tote bag. Stop by the We Back the Facts booth to snag your Fax Pass to unlock discounts and prizes along the East Colfax corridor. Then get in the independent spirit and check out your fave Colfax businesses during Indie Week, running July 26th through August 1st. Use your tote bag at participating Indie Week retailers on Colfax to receive 10% off. Don't miss it. Plan your week at colfaxab.com/indie-week. That's colfaxab.com/indie-week. We'll see you there. Well, another burger, let's talk about kind of interesting burgers. And this one that you had at Big Sky Burger in Lakewood, this is a patty burger. This is not a smash burger, but is this the bulgogi burger? Tell me,
burger, yeah.
This burger looks nuts. Tell me about this burger.
It's not a burger at all. It's
okay.
Bulgogi meat on a bun, right? Now, just to be clear, I had both the regular burger and the bulgogi burger. We just put the bulgogi burger picture because it was it's a good picture, and it's kind of like crazy. But that place is awesome. That place is really worth going to if you're in the area. It's this old school kind of burger joint, like throwback looking location, right? It's got everything you'd want in a burger place, and the regular burger, good burger patty, excellent. It comes with fries. It hits all the marks, right? But the fact is that when you go there, there's all this other stuff that you can get, and it's completely unexpected from a burger place, like a bulgogi burger. They have like a kimchi burger. Like there's all these cool things that you can get there, and I love that that's sort of the plan with the place. Like come for the burgers, leave a Korean food fan. And that's kind of the idea. And so when I got it, it came out. I didn't realize it was going to have slices of raw American cheese on it. I'm like, bulgogi I was like, what is this going to be, right? And it was awesome.
Okay.
And I've been, I've had the opportunity to eat a lot of Korean food in some past projects that, made me want to try this even more. Cause it's like, how can you say no to that? When am I going to see this again? Right. You have to get it. And so it was just really great to eat. I really liked it. It was completely unexpected. As you're eating it, you're trying to figure out, why is this happening right now?
Yeah.
But yeah, you just got to go with it. It's great.
So another one that caught my eye was Duke's Good Sandwiches and Burgers. And I'll be honest with you, I've not been to Duke's yet because every time I'm in that part of town, they're not open that day. It's usually Mondays or something. So I have not gotten to go there yet. But I've heard about this place for their sandwiches. So again, I think it's one of those places where like they're known for one thing, but they also do this other thing. And they're known for the home of the original Denver chopped cheese. But you went there to have a smash burger. Mm-hmm. Tell me about Duke's Burger.
So what I really liked about that place, and there's kind of a funny story around it, I drove out there not knowing that it was the Juneteenth festival, which is happening right outside of it.
Sure.
So it was bedlam. The fact that I even got parking within reasonable walking distance is an absolute miracle. And I'm like, this place is going to be closed. This is like not my day. But fortunately, they were open. I got there when there was no line. 10 seconds later, it's out the door. Like everything fell into place. But first of all, perfectly cooked burger, perfectly seasoned burger, hitting all the marks. Smash burgers have a particular kind of sauce, and the sauce is generally a mix of tomato, mayonnaise, and mustard.
Oh,
And
okay.
the ratio of those things changed from place to place. And this one I thought had a interesting mustardy component to it. I wouldn't normally just put only mustard on a burger, but the fact that I don't know, for whatever reason, that just hit all the other flavor elements of the burger just right. And I was like, this was great. Another one I had a hard time putting down. Like, it was really, really good. So I had to kind of go with that. In fact, I walked up to there. I'm like, what is in this? Can you explain? Is this Dijon mustard in there? I'm like asking her all these questions. She's like, dude, there's a line. You're going to have to wait. I mean, she didn't say
You're
that,
like,
but I
you
can
know who
kind of
I
tell.
am. Just kidding.
No, she was being very, very, I wasn't trying to be like, oh, Mr. Food editor here. I was just like fascinated. And so I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to let you guys do your business. I'll come back.
So another thing you sort of looked at was you, in sort of the semi-categorization, is like places that serve burgers. You did walk-up counters, you did fancier burgers, but one place or one sort of category you did was bars. And I thought this was really interesting. I mean, obviously my brother's bar is just as well known for its burger as it is for being a really old, amazing, old school bar. But also, like, Candlelight Tavern is on there. And I'll be honest with you, I've never eaten food at Candlelight Tavern because when I hung out there, I used to get very drunk. And I don't drink anymore, but I honestly didn't even know that they had food. And so I wonder, what about a bar? Why does the bar and the burger go so? Why is this the food of a good bar? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I think that, first of all, burgers and beer are a natural combination.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how do you. Secondly, burgers, I mean, I don't want to discount the people that are making great burgers, but burgers aren't particularly difficult to make. They're difficult to make well, right? But they're not, but it's an easy thing to do. You don't have to, do a lot of training to make a decent burger. So I think that's probably why. It's just, and also, when a lot of times when you're at a bar, you're not always at a bar solely to have a meal. You're there to socialize. You're there to hang out with your friends. A burger is kind of like, as a dish in general across the board, sort of like background music from a culinary perspective, right? Like, it's not leading the charge of why you're there. You're not sitting around all talking about this burger that you're eating, how wonderful it is. You're eating a burger, drinking beers, talking to your friends, and you're kind of not thinking about what you're eating. And a burger, plays that role very, very well. But some places can interrupt that thought about it, and it's still a great burger. I used to live around the corner from the Candlelight Tavern, so this is partly a nostalgic addition to the list, but I went and it still delivers.
It was still good,
and it's just so simple. I'm actually, my mouth is starting to water.
I know. I was like, this conversation's killing me. I'm starving. But yeah, tell us
I don't know if I'm
about
going to have another burger for the rest of the year because of how many I ate. But right now, it's making me hungry. But yeah, that place is just simple, and it reminds me of like my childhood. It's like, and not like my childhood was spent in a bar getting drunk, but like the way they do that burger is very much that sort of old school. Your dad kind of cooked it on the grill and you're having it around dinner with your family at home, and that it just kind of brought those elements back to me.
Good basic homey burger. I will say, as a child that did grow up in bars, I don't remember eating food at them, and I kind of probably would have appreciated that because I sure ate a lot of bar fruit instead. But the old maraschino cherries, and orange slices and all kinds of things that I would never eat now because they were touched a million
maybe
times.
Some pineapple chunks in there somewhere.
Well, before we move on to our next topic, I have to ask, no list is complete. I'm sure folks have wrote in raging with their favorite being left off. Is there anywhere that you're in, like, looking forward to going, or I don't know, I guess any sort of takeaway in looking at this now that you've stepped back a little bit and you've published the piece?
Yeah, I feel like I would have liked to have gone to more bars and tried more bar burgers, particularly outside of like the core Denver restaurant areas. There's a lot of places along like South Broadway that are interesting, a lot of places out in Lakewood and even Littleton that are interesting. I would love to go back to Aurora and find some places, out there. And what's been great and really interesting is that I posted the story onto the Denver Food Red, just being like, hey, like I guarantee you I didn't hit everything. Okay, so if you got anything you want to come at me with, please let me know. Be happy to go check it out in their time. And I might, in a couple months, take some of the suggestions that I heard, go try some places and update the story online. I got no problem doing that once the cholesterol levels come back to a manageable level. But yeah, I mean, I was up front even in the piece. I was like, we did not eat every burger in Denver. It would take years to accomplish that. So For sure. Like there's definitely a few places that I think people have recommended that I should go and take another look at, and I'd be happy to do so. I don't think that it's a comprehensive list by any means, but I think everything that's on that list is 100% defensible, and that was really what I was aiming for.
Well, we'll put a link in the show notes. I'm sure our listeners will have lots of opinions as well. And we'd love to hear from you. What is your favorite burger spot that you want Anthony to try? Give us a call, 720-500-5418. Give us a call on the cheeseburger hotline. I'll be specific about that. 720-500-5418. Okay, let's talk about our next topic, which is your most recent story on most anticipated restaurant openings. Man, there's some really good stuff on this list. And I wanted to talk to you about one of my faves, first of all, MAKFam. They're opening up a second location, thank God. The one in Baker's adorable, and it's so cute, but it's so tiny. And I'm so glad that they're expanding. They're going to be in the area people call Rhino, around 35th and Walnut. It's like catty corner to Tracks. MAKFam got a lot of well-deserved hype when they opened a couple years ago. Anything we should know, or what fans should know, what people who've never been there should know that we should expect from this next iteration of MAKFam?
I'd say I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're doing there myself. I know that, it's with the larger space and with the larger kitchen, there's probably some opportunity to expand the menu a little bit beyond, what they're able to do at the Baker neighborhood location. They're not really providing a lot of information right now, and I want to give them the space to develop that and come up with that story in their own time and in their own way. It's a tough one to put on there because I know that a lot of the coverage so far has been based around, people monitoring required filing, documents and the city and things like that. So sometimes we jump the gun and we start talking about something before, the people behind it are really prepared or ready to really let us know what it is they want to do. And so I think they deserve the time that they need to develop what it is they want to develop and then come out and tell us in the way that they want to tell us. And I'm looking forward to hearing what that is when they're ready to go.
And for folks who haven't been there, it's this really amazing sort of take on Asian street food. I think they really called on New York City and just the way that food functions there. If you walk into the space, you'll kind of get it. But my favorite was the corned beef fried rice. I've never had anything like that in my life. I will eat corned beef. I eat it once a year as an Irish person, but this was so different, and they do small bites. They do these bigger plates. They've got vegan options. They've got stir fried greens. They've got a classic, their take on a scallion pancake, crab and cheese rangoons. All these kinds of things that you think and then you try them there, and it's totally different. It's their take.
It's wonderful. It's like I've been there a couple of times. My wife and I like to go there, eat, and then go see a movie at the Mayan across the street. And it's like a perfect date night, right? And their fried chicken is out of this world. Usually we get the fried chicken. They have a dumpling, like a little dumpling dish, like an appetizer, and then the beef and noodles. And it's like it's you can't go wrong. I mean, it's as someone who tries to make a point of ordering different things and going to different places. When I go there, I tend to order the same stuff because that's what I'm there because I want that, and that's pretty rare for me. We actually look for movies at the Mine just so we have an excuse to go to MAKFam beforehand.
I love that combo. That's a great combo too. It's walkable, so you can hit MAKFam.
It's a perfect thing.
Just wander over. Also, I can't remember what the drink is called, but our producer Olivia got this beautiful drink in it comes in this adorable cup. They just aesthetically also, if you're an aesthetics person, this restaurant is so beautiful. I think that's the other part I'm excited about with this new location with MAKFam is I have a feeling it will be familiar to those of us that are fans, but they're totally going to do something bigger and better and different. And I can't wait to see what the space feels like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And from my understanding, they should have a full bar. Which would allow them to expand their drink program beyond what you're able to do at the Broadway location. But since we're talking about drinks there, what I would like to shout out to them is their wine. They have like a couple of wines by the glass. It's not a super large program, but like for an Asian restaurant, a Chinese restaurant that's offering a really smart wine list. I think that's a really cool combination that people don't always think about, but they should. And I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but they have an orange wine that's like, just get that. Like if you're there and you're trying to figure out something different to get, look for the orange wine they have on their list, order it, you'll be happy, you'll thank me later.
I love it. Well, when MAKFam opens up, you got to come back and let us know what you find out.
I can't wait.
This episode is brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. Did you know Colorado is turning 150 this year? The Colorado Lottery is celebrating this big birthday with 3 new prize-packed scratch games. Check out the new $5 150th birthday scratch game loaded with cash prizes, the $3 winning country scratch game with a top prize of $30,000, and the $10 Colorado Gold Rush scratch game with a top prize of $250,000. That's $250,000 that could be yours. Did you know that every game from the Colorado Lottery directly gives back to Colorado's great outdoors? Since 1985, the Colorado Lottery has given more than $3.7 billion back to parks, trails, open spaces, and recreation projects across the state. Profits from the sales of these games are distributed to voter-selected groups like Great Outdoors Colorado, the Conservation Trust Fund, Colorado Parks and Wildlife, and more. Celebrate the Centennial State's 150th birthday this year with the Colorado Lottery's special celebration scratch games. Must be 18 to play. Visit coloradolottery.com to learn more. That's coloradolottery.com. Another spot I wanted to ask you about is from the folks behind Nocturne Jazz Bar and Supper Club. Mm-hmm. They're opening up a new spot around the corner from this space where Noble Riot Wine Bar was. This place is like a champagne and cocktail bar, La Vie en Rose. Can you tell me more about what should we expect from the folks at Nocturne?
I think they're going to be going like elegant maxine on this thing. I think they really want to blow this out of the water in terms of like just you really coming in and kind of feeling like this sort of indulgent space in the best way possible, where it's like it's champagne, it's small appetizers. I'm going to guess there's going to be some caviar involved in this place. That kind of thing. They really want to kind of make it be like this really elegant kind of experience that you can go to and have that drink and have that cocktail and have a sort of an escape away from a lot of the things that we normally see around Denver. And what I find really particularly interesting about that approach is when you take a step back and you look at the overall evolution of Rhino as a neighborhood in general, and particularly from the food and drink perspective, it started off a lot of places opening up in these older, more industrial areas of the neighborhood, and they kind of naturally had this sort of gritty kind of industrial vibe as a result. And what we're seeing now with the places that are being built today, it's moving past that into more of this sort of elegant and higher end, not necessarily fine dining, but just just a little more polished kind of approach with a lot of places, because a lot of them are being built in new spaces. And so it's interesting to me to see places that are taking over the older spaces sort of matching that style a little bit. And so that's a little wonky food guy kind of like insight maybe, but that's the kind of thing I find interesting, is just trying to see like, okay, how is this neighborhood defining itself, and what is their identity, and how is that going to work in the space that they're in an alley with like a bunch of graffiti and stuff like that. So it's going to be kind of a cool juxtaposition, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, if you've been to Nocturne, it's a great space, ambiance-wise, too. So I have no doubt whatever they decide to do in this new space will be equally that sort of leveled up
and just
environment you're talking about.
Wine to Denver, I think, is a good thing. I think by seeing more wine bars, seeing more people kind of really doing wine-forward concepts, it's perceived as a difficult concept to bring to life in this town, and people think that there's more of a barrier or a hump to get over. I don't know that that's true. I think the city's ready for it. That's me personally, editorializing here a little bit with my own biases, because I do I do love a good wine bar, but I like to see people taking the flag and running in front of the crowd with it and trying to get people to follow, and I think that's what they're doing. I applaud them greatly for it.
That's an interesting sort of moment to be talking about, considering we're sort of on the waning end of the craft brew situation, where a lot of breweries have closed and maybe tastes are changing a little bit. There's been a lot of conversation about like people just not drinking as much, but I think wine also can be one of those things where you do go to sit in the environment and take in whatever they've curated for you, which is a very different experience than a brewery or a traditional bar. And I wonder, is there a wine bar in Denver that you would recommend? Maybe somebody who's listening to this, who's new to the city, who's like, okay, then where's the good wine bars until we find out more about this one?
I mean, how much time we got? There's a couple, right? I mean, I'm going to throw out a number. There's, let's see here. There's ESB Hi-Fi over on Santa Fe. That place is great. It's really interesting. vinyl listening bar.
Yeah.
That, it's and they've got a very interesting natural wine list. Sticking with the natural wine angle is a relatively newer place out on Colfax called Society 303. That's a wonderful place. Really nice environment to be in, and really accessible wine list, and people there that help you, pick what it is that you're looking to drink that day. I like Trellis Wine Bar. I think what's that? It's near like Wonton, basically. It's in that they've got a nice big chalkboard where they're kind of updating things, quite a bit. Let's see here. The butcher shop Western Daughter recently opened a wine bar right next to it, and
cool.
I went there the day they opened, and I didn't even realize that they were doing a food restaurant style service as well. And I need to get back and try the food there next. But they've got some really cool stuff, like just people that are serving wine not to be like snooty and I don't know, kind of douchey about the whole thing. They're like,
Sure.
they really are in love with it. And when people come in, they want to share their passion with you, and they want to, whether you're an expert or a newbie, they're gonna find a way to have a conversation with you and get you on board with what they're excited about it. And like you get excited listening to them talk and pour and sharing with you the things that they've brought in and why they added it to the list. And that's just an exciting time to hang out and just talk and listen to that kind of stuff. Or maybe I'm just a geek and I'm the outlier. I don't know, but I love it.
You're in the right job to be that
Yes,
kind of geek.
for
So,
sure.
Well, we'll put a link to your articles in the show notes so folks can do their own reading. And I know we will get opinions on all of these things, because if there's anything people have a lot of opinions about, it's food and drink. And we've got a great
Absolutely.
scene
And
here.
good. And they should.
Yeah, absolutely. We encourage it. Anthony, thank you so much for joining me. This was so great.
Well, I had fun. Thanks a lot for having me. I appreciate it.
That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. If you enjoyed this show, why not take a minute to tell the burger aficionado in your life about us? Rate the show wherever you get your podcasts, follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and subscribe to our morning newsletter at denver.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. See you later.